Welcome back. As my bicycle journey through Germany continued, the rivers gradually gave way to another remarkable landscape. As I began climbing those beautiful hillsides and riding through those vineyards, I realized they had something to teach me as well. Not just about growing grapes or making wine, but about building our careers. Join me in this episode as I share some of these career think points with you. Episode 2 in this series on rivers, vineyards, and fairy tales. This episode draws career clues from the vineyards and hillsides. Hills and valleys are all about climbing and descending, aren't they? That's why this episode is entitled Level Up Your Career.
After following the rivers, I thought the rest of the journey would get easier.
Instead, the path got steeper, much steeper.
But maybe that's where the next career lesson begins.
Let's find out.
The rivers had now given way to spectacular vineyards, and I cycled through these steep hillsides. I found that here too there were wonderful lessons that we can learn. Let me share some of them with you now. Coming to the first career think point of this episode. When I tell them about my cycling plans, people sometimes ask me why I take up this long distance, arduous bike journey. And that brings us to the point of this think point, the challenge, and the satisfaction that such challenges bring. So the thought here for us to consider is choose the challenge. Looking up at those steep vineyard slopes for the first time, I wondered, why would anyone choose to grow grapes here rather than on the fertile valleys below? Yet generation after generation, over hundreds of years, has chosen this challenge because they know that some of the world's finest grapes grow on the steepest hillsides. The tasks that challenge you often are the tasks that change you. As you prepare for your exams, don't just practice what you already know. Spend most of your time on the questions that you get wrong. That's where the real learning happens. Choose the challenge instead of the easy option. The difficulties you take on today often become the opportunities that can shape your future. Let's look at the next career think point. As I rode along, something that I found is that small adjustments can make a big difference. Climbing steep hills isn't only about strength. I soon discovered that choosing the right gear on my bike made all the difference. The climb didn't become easier, but I became better. And facing up to the challenge helped me to keep moving forward always. Careers also work in a similar fashion. When something isn't working, don't keep just pushing the same way. Pause, adjust your approach, and try again. If one study method isn't working, don't keep struggling with it. Look for other methods that might suit you even better. Just as changing gears makes a steep climb manageable, Changing your study strategy can make difficult subjects easier to master. Replace long notes with flowcharts. Try mind maps. Use flashcards. Teaching others the same topic can help you strengthen your own learning. Sometimes a change in your study strategy can make a big difference, and finding the right strategy can completely transform your learning. Success doesn't always require working harder and harder. Sometimes it begins with working smarter, always keeping your strengths in the forefront. Moving on to another career think point. This is an interesting one. I learned that my mistakes were my best teacher. So what I'd like to think about with you now is your mistakes can become your best teacher. Cycling through the Moselle Valley wasn't always smooth. I missed turns, didn't change gears in time, and sometimes I had to stop. But every mistake taught me something. Every challenge helped me improve. And with every pedal stroke, every climb, I became a stronger and more confident cyclist. Careers grow the same way. Real expertise isn't built by getting everything right the very first time. It comes from learning, adjusting, and improving after every setback. Along the ride, we sometimes came to road closed signs like this one. Perhaps you get those awful red marks on your answer scripts. If that happens, don't be discouraged. Find out why your answer was wrong, where you made the mistake, learn from those mistakes, and try once again. It may seem sometimes that the road is closed, but every mistake you understand is one less mistake you'll make again. And then you can push through with greater confidence, and next time you will get it right and your lights will go green. Moving on now to the next career think point, a really important point emerged for me on this ride, and that is the climb is the point. Climbing the steep vineyard paths, I kept thinking about reaching the top, but somewhere along the way I realized the real value wasn't at the summit. It was in every pedal stroke. Each climb made me stronger, more patient, and most importantly, more confident. And that was my true summit. Careers are much the same. We focus on promotions and milestones, but it's the difficult projects, the setbacks, the mistakes, and the persistence that we show that shape who we become. When you're studying, don't fear the difficult questions. They are the climb, and every one you solve makes you a more confident learner moving ahead on your journey to success. The hillsides and vineyards taught me this. Success isn't about getting to the top first. It's about who you become as you climb. The climb changes you more than a summit ever could. Getting to the top is fantastic, but becoming the kind of person who can get to the top, that is real success. Level up your career. That's where we started, isn't it? So at the end of this episode, keep in mind that leveling up your career means choosing the challenge, making small adjustments that can make a big difference to you, understanding that your mistakes are your best teacher, and most importantly, keeping in mind that the climb is the point.
I never imagined vineyards and hillsides could teach us so much.
Sometimes the hardest climbs help us grow the most.
And every small step takes us closer to our goals.
I wonder what the next interesting story will be.
Thank you for joining me on this journey through the Moselle Valley. I do hope you gained some ideas that you can reflect upon. In our next episode, we will travel to another famous city in Germany called Trier, and Germany's oldest city is Trier. In Trier, an interesting conversation with a banker, I hope, will offer you fresh insights into careers, choices, and the paths that we take. Every journey has a destination, but every destination opens the way to another journey. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.